Hi, it's Jenny from A Stamping Journey. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Wollongong, Australia. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you this cool, super easy trifold card. Now, I've used the everyday Arches dies, which gives it a totally different look, but you can use rectangles or ovals to die cut, or you might even just cut some rectangles with your paper trimmer. The important thing is knowing the measurements and a few tips in putting it together, and I'm going to show you how, and I'll show you in metric and in inches so you can follow along wherever you are. So now I have decorated it with the wildflower birthday specialty paper, but of course you can choose how to decorate it how you want to too. I love this because it's already colored and you've got so many fun images. I'll just show you this quickly. It's got some, you might see that shine with the gold side, has the gold embossed images, which is so pretty. You also get some sheets of these die cut pieces, so all ready for you just to pull them out and stick them on your projects. So I've put some in a bag just to keep them all together, but you could stamp some images and color them. You could just create it however you like. So let's get started. I'll bring our pieces in. You want a length of card. I'll give you the measurements for this in a minute. For your base, you'll also want some pieces for your arches. You can see I've cut a larger one and a smaller one, so you'll want some coordinating card for your arches for the larger one, and some white pieces, 3 of each, for the smaller ones, and some designer series paper to decorate. I'll give you those measurements too, and then whatever else you want. And I've got the die cuts that I can add to the finished card. So for the measurements, firstly, we'll take our strip of card. Get your paper trimmer. In centimeters, you'll cut your piece 29.7. That's the length of an A4 standard card size, and it will be 9 centimeters across. In inches, you'll take your sheet of card, which is 11 inches. You'll want to cut a slight amount off that, so your length will be 10.5 inches. So that's really important, just to make sure your pieces are even. So in inches, that will be 10.5 inches, and your width will be 3 3/4 of an inch. Now, don't worry too much about the measurements. This in a written tutorial will go out in my newsletter next week. So if you're a subscriber, you will receive that in next week. If you're not, then you can always subscribe. I send out a new tutorial each week. You want to score your card. So I'm going to score it at 9.9 centimeters in from each end, or this will be 3.5 inches from each end. So you'll score that. So I'll turn it. So then I'm going to score it again, 9.9 centimeters or 3.5 inches. Be sure to keep that cutting blade out of the way. You don't want that. So you have your scored card. Getting to your designer series paper, you'll want to have 3 prints. You can make them all the same, or I alternated the patterns because it's pretty just to have some different ones. So your pieces, they'll all be the same measurements. You're going to have them at 8.6 centimeters in length by 9.5 centimeters in width, or that will be 3 5/8 of an inch by 3 3/8 of an inch. So you want 3 pieces. So just going over that again, and when if it's got a pattern over it, just make sure the pattern for your length is sitting the right way. So our length will be 8.6 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters wide, or 3 5/8 of an inch by 3 3/8 of an inch. We'll get to that again in a moment. We can get rid of our paper trimmer now. So we can score these on the score line, a mountain fold, and this one's going to be a valley fold. So folding that inward. If you want to crease those down, just get your bone folder and press down on those scores, the folds. That will crisp them up a bit. Then we can adhere our pieces together. Now there's some tips in putting your arches or your shapes together, and I'll show you those in a moment. We'll get these pieces on. Now look at the way you want your scallops. I'm going to have the scallops going downwards. This one will go in the middle. And we can add our other pieces on. I like to use the multi-purpose glue because it just gives you, because it's a liquid glue, it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. Now, these are the Everyday Arches dies, which they're an online exclusive now, so you can only find them online, but you can order them anyway as you usually do. I'll just check the sizes. So this size is going to be our white piece. I do apologise if my voice keeps going in and out. Been unwell all week. Then the next larger size, you can make this any size that you want. I'll even go up that little bit more. I think we're going to go that size. So we'll cut those out. I'm alternating the colours on our large piece too, and we want 3 of our smaller ones. So I'll just go and run that and cut those out. Okay, we have our pieces. We've got our 3 white, our 3 coloured ones. Now we want to put it together. If you want to do any stamping on your white, I would suggest you do that first before you stick them together. So stamp that first, but I'm using die cut images. I have added a few little extras. I've used it with the Arched Wishes stamp set. So I'm using the little stars and splatter and the star shape there when I've come to stamp it. I'm not going to stamp that now though, because I'm just going to show you how to put it together. So stick your pieces together. I can go and finish this later. So you want your small white shape onto your larger one. Just center that on there. Once again, it's good to use your multi-purpose liquid glue to wiggle that into position. Okay, now I'll need that again, so I'll leave that. Now let's put it together. To start with, you want to put your shape on that's in the back panel first. So just add some of the multi-purpose glue and position that. Now center that in the width. And in terms of how high, you don't want it to be too large, to be larger than a card size to fit in an envelope. And I just use it as a the grid paper as a guide or use your ruler. So for Australia, we don't want it any larger than a 14.8 centimeters. For the US, you might want it no more than the 5 1/4, which it is a little bit too high for that now, but you can wiggle that down. So yours would be positioned that little bit lower down. Use your grid paper, use a ruler to get that in position. Once your back panel is in place, you can then position your other ones. I then go to the front, so you want another green one. A pool party color is what I've used here. You can choose whatever color works for your paper. Add your adhesive, and this time you're going to line it up with the shape at the back. So make sure that it's centered, but line it up so it's level with that shape at the back. Because you've already positioned the back one, you know that it's right. Then we're going to go to our middle one. We want to position that. And you're going to put that in. Oh, that white one is a little bit crooked. We're going to go with that for now. And I'm just going to fold that in. You can see I'm lining that up with the other shape, and I can then press that down. Hopefully that makes sense. So get your back one in position first. Make sure it wiggle it around, and you can measure it so it doesn't stick up too high to fit in your envelope. Then line up your front panel with your back one and then add your center. So then you'll have your arches in position. Just ignore that crooked one. We won't go there now. Let's bring our other one back in. So decorate it how you like. Fold it up in a trifold, and it just makes it such a fun card to create for a special birthday or occasion. So I hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks for being patient with me today as my voice keeps coming in and out, but I couldn't wait to show this project for you. If you're watching on YouTube, don't miss out on all the other projects that I share. I love making fun folds, and we'll catch you on another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.